My name is Link, yes, I'm the savior of our world. I killed off Ganondorf and even got the girl. But now I'm stuck with someone different for my bride. Thus was the downfall of the great hero of time. I'll tell you my sad story now, fight the urge to cry. The story I call my inner life.
Well, are you ready to restart?
I think so.
Alright, what was I screaming about before you got dropped?
Something glimmered from the other side of the room. Of course, you said, of course, and then and then you went very silent.
Okay. What I was saying was, of course, it would be her to spot this item and to come up with this plan, because it's not like Link is sitting over there and could pull his weight in the story because he's the fucking hero of the game. So it should be really important that he's smart enough to figure shit out and save you guys. I mean, granted, I wouldn't want, his wife to look like a dumb, even though she is dumb. But in a better story, we would see them going back and forth with the bright ideas. And, like something happens, they work together, or maybe one figures like something out, and then the other one figures something else out at the same time.
Yeah, like and this is something that happens with a lot of stories where you have people that are supposed to be in a relationship together, but when someone is reading a story and there is already an established character that they may like, you don't want to make someone who is basically claiming them as a spouse to be unworthy of them, because that will make people not want to read your story and not want to believe in your story. Because if these two people don't work very well with each other, actually dumbing down someone that they know is more capable to showcase this other person, then they're going to be like, no, yeah, but no. They're going to be like Selby, yeah, but no.
Somebody's just going to appear and be like, I hate you. Get out before I kill you all.
I mean, really, it's just a very poor idea to write a story that marries off two characters, one of which is a tremendously established character, and the other of which is someone who just smacks of being shoehorned into everything. It's got to be her idea. It's got to be her doing this. It's got to be her insisting to come along despite being a useless lump. It's got to be her, doing all these things that realistically she couldn't even do.
Mm-hmm. And again, it wouldn't be so bad if some thought was put into this, and maybe she was part of the royal family. Maybe she is a traveling merchant or something and just happens upon Link, or maybe he's got to buy something from her store or something for a quest or whatever he's on. I mean, there are millions of ways you could have made their introductions better, you could have made their interactions better, that them actually becoming, forming a relationship better, that them being characters in a story you're telling much better. There are millions of ways that we've constantly brought up while reading this, that the story could have been better.
Yeah, or at least even could have been any good. I mean, the characters have no personality. They're completely flat. These people are basically just two stupid people that hang out.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Yeah. We don't really have any investment in them because they're not likable, they're not interesting, they have nothing going for them. None of them have done anything to make us like them. In fact, quite the opposite. And Link, who is, just about anybody would be familiar with in terms of at least, some sort of personality, he's just a placeholder. Mm-hmm. He's a cardboard standee would have more depth.
Mm-hmm. Something caught my eye. I peered deeper into the darkness on the other side of the room as I pushed myself away from the wall and slinked across the floor. Mm. When I got close enough to the shining object, I realized that the glints were coming off the gems uh, on my phoenix circles. It seemed that in his haste to remove our weapons, Darklink
Or his
seemingly
past, as the case may be.
in our haste to remove our weapons, Darklink seemingly forgot to take my phoenix circles with the rest of the weapons.
Right, because someone like that, who's obviously been planning this, would just forget to take these gaudy-ass decorative weapons that have no real legitimate usage.
I'm sorry, but we've already properly established that Darklink is an awesome person running around in his sexy lingerie. So, no, he wouldn't be stupid enough to do that. You just magically put them there. So you could have an excuse to be awesome when you're really not. It just makes you look stupid and self-centered.
You completely cut out for a little while there.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, I don't know if it was also on your end, but I could not hear anything. Because he said, we've already established that Darklink is an awesome, and then it was just, I thought he'd drop me again.
Oh, no. I don't know. Maybe it's my computer, maybe it's my headset, maybe it's the internet, because we have been having internet problems.
Yeah, I don't know what's up.
Basically, I was saying there's no possible way that Darklink would forget that because we've already established that he's awesome dressed in lingerie, and he wouldn't do that, so Jenna magicked them there. So she would have an excuse to be awesome, but it doesn't make her awesome. Gosh darn it! Internet problem.
Yeah, seriously.
Maybe we should just actually, like, once I get my new place, you should just come over and us.
Maybe so. I swear it's ridiculous. It's like, it was fine for like over an hour.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, oh, I've got to fuck it up.
But anyway, that was the point I was making. Jenna is making it all about herself again. Instead of leaving well enough alone, she magicked her weapons there so she'd have an excuse to be awesome, even though she's not, and can't ever be as awesome as Darklink running around in his lingerie.
And you know, of course it has to be her weapons.
Mm-hmm.
It couldn't be something else that she could use to cut herself out. No, it has to be specifically her weapons that were somehow left out. Somehow, yet they were across the room. Why would that happen?
Who knows?
I don't even understand how that's possible. Link, look, over on that table across the room. It's my phoenix circles, I said as I leaned forward. How do you suppose we are going to get to it, as the case may be? Why does this author have such a problem with singular and plural? Yeah, I guess in light of all the other things that they do wrong, it's kind of a drop in the bucket. We're still bound, Link reminded. That needs an object.
Yes.
Looking back down at my bonds, the feeling of my fuck you cat instincts washed over me again. You're not a cat!
Why do you think you're a cat?
Why don't you just make yourself a cat if you're going to claim to be a cat? And if you are going to claim to be a cat, why didn't it come up before now?
Because we just now decided that we should throw them in there. We already had tiger sex noises, so and clawed the fuck out of Link's back, so
yeah, which I might add are not flattering sexual noises.
No.
But hey! There we go. Oh yes, washed over me again. Gracefully, I leaned forward. Gracefully? Gracefully.
We're doing a My Immortal.
How can you lean forward when you're tied up? Gracefully. You can lean forward, but it's not going to look graceful. It's going to look like a sea cucumber or something. I leaned forward until my mouth met the bonds.
Wait.
Are you fucking kidding me?
He's not smart enough to tie your hands behind your back.
No, I'll bet their hands are tied, but she's trying to say that she has teeth that can chew through rope. Teeth
Yes.
that can
Yes,
chew
yes.
through rope. Gracefully I leaned forward until my mouth met the bonds around my ankles. Slowly I took part of the rope into my mouth and began to gnaw at it. Quickly I chewed my way through the rope, knowing I had to make haste. I had to break my bonds before Dark Link returned. This is bullshit.
Yes, it is. Sorry, Anna interrupted me.
Anna, this is your fault.
Yes, it is.
I'm blaming you for this.
Hold on.
That laugh. You'd better enjoy this, Anna.
Shush, slave. Read my story.
Hey, I answer to the cat. Wait, I'm supposed to be a demon myself. What am I doing here?
Well, we are in hell, so that would make sense why you're here. Now, me on the other hand, I am supposed to be a cat of some kind. But, but
Not a stupid
I've
one.
also pretended to be the devil in a certain webcomic series. So, yeah.
A cat you may be, but you're not a stupid one, and you're
No.
not a horrible author insertion character.
I'm more of a cat in spirit, not a real cat.
I
Preferably
can't
a
believe
snow
that.
leopard because they're cute.
I can't believe what this stupid story is asking us
I
to believe.
know.
It's your paragraph, by the way.
Well, I'm still trying to get Anna to...
Oh.
hey.
I had a Zelda game I was playing before we started this story.
You'll never
And
be able
now I
to go
can't
back.
play it because every time I start it up, it's like that picture of the woman with the booze and the blender. It's just like, I don't even want to see Hyrule. This is dumb. I don't want it.
Don't think of it like that. Think of it as something that is much better than this story.
It's actually ruined my enjoyment of the Zelda game.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll ever enjoy them again. Maybe after we're done with this story and never have to see it or read it again, I will be okay.
Give it a month and I think you'll be okay.
Because, like, even the time we've taken off of it has still not been enough to make me feel like it's okay.
After some work, I managed to chew through the bonds around my ankles.
No, you didn't. You
can't bend like a cat. I'm sorry, you're not a cat. You're human.
Also, she was just fucking pregnant.
Yeah.
She just gave fucking birth. There's no way she's going to be that flexible and able to keep that position, even if she were that flexible. It would be so prohibitively uncomfortable to keep that kind of position for long enough that you could actually chew through those bonds, if you could even do that, which you can't.
No. I mean, granted, I think she tried to allude to that some time had passed, but not.
She failed.
Yes, nothing really.
As usual.
Yes. I got up and staggered over to the table where my phoenix circles were sitting.
Why does she keep capitalizing that?
Because they're important, so she thinks she needs to, but they're not. Turning around, I took one of them into my hands and worked it around until the blade was resting against the bonds around my wrist. I thought you chewed through them.
No. She chewed through the ones around her feet.
Yeah, but wasn't she gnawing at the ones that bound her hands?
I don't think she could do that. Like, I think they were supposed to be, like, behind her. I don't know. But no, she just chewed through the ones around her ankles. Also, I would like to point out that it would be possible for her to go to Link and cut him free, and then have him cut her free, rather. But for her to try and position something that is a circular blade so that it could cut at her wrist without looking at it if her hands are behind her back. And if they're not, then why didn't she chew through them? The bonds. So it would be extremely dangerous and stupid and impossible for her to be positioning this in just the right place so that she doesn't actually end up cutting her own wrists and, well, then this would be my immortal.
Mm.
But hey, I could go for some My Immortal right now, actually. I never thought I'd be saying that. Never thought I'd say that again, but yeah, compared to this, I would read My Immortal again.
Resting against my bonds around my wrist. Taking it, I slowly managed to cut through my bonds, wrong through. Putting my weapon down, I rubbed my wrist to soothe the pain from the slight wounds that came from when I tried to break the bonds. It shouldn't be a slight wound. Link, I'm free.
Yeah.
Grabbing...
Also, you would probably be rubbing them anyway, even if you hadn't tried to break your bonds,
Yeah.
because when you are bound, it kind of impresses into the skin and interferes with a lot of things. It's actually not very good for you. So you would probably be in pain regardless.
Yeah. Let's see. Also, I like how she stops to take care of herself, but now she's concerned about her husband.
Yeah,
Like she
cool.
stopped to rub her wrist instead of immediately going for her husband's bonds. Are you still there?
Yeah, sorry, I was just shaking my head silently.
Oh, okay.
This woman is just like the worst.
Link, I'm free. Grabbing my weapon, I walked over to him. How did
Yes,
you...
I'm not blind.
How did you manage to break your bond? Link asked with a shock.
You were there! Were you asleep? What happened?
His head was down. I guess he wasn't paying attention. Well, I owe it all to the training I had. What? Bullshit!
What?
Bullshit!
Yeah, traveling merchants. They have the training to chew through rope.
No, they don't.
What is this crap?
If you tried to explain, maybe you had like a secret knife stashed in your boot or something, that would be different. But you don't.
The training she received. Who trained her? Who trains wandering merchants?
Emperor
What is this, some
or
sort of
something?
wandering merchant training guild?
Yes. I had while I was traveling. Or you could just say, uh, just happened to learn something. But you can't learn to chew through your bonds while traveling. Maybe somehow how to maneuver your hands to slip the rope or loosen it or something, but no. Anyway, now it's time to break your bonds or cut them because you have a sharp object. For some reason, I read that as retching.
Yes, well, there is a reason for that.
Reaching down, I placed the blade of my phoenix circle against the bonds on Link's ankles. Snapping the ropes off, you cut them! You cut them! I motioned for Link to turn around, placing the blade against the rope. I sliced it off one swift swipe. Rubbing his wrists, he looked up at me with a smile on his face.
That's bullshit too. You can't even cut through rope like that with a very sharp sword. And if it is that sharp, you shouldn't be just swiping it casually around, especially not someone you care about. This story sucks.
It'll be like the ending to Fu Manchu. where Crow says this movie's really bad, and then Tom turns, he's like, this movie sucks. This movie sucks, Joel. And then the credits roll. He's like, even the credits suck. And he starts crying. Let's just go. He's like, I don't want to watch the credits. I don't want to make fun of the credits. Let's just leave.
You're amazing, my love, he said with a smile. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
I'm sure she is. She's an amazing amount of bullshit. That is
Yes.
what she is.
Yes, it's funny because, like, it's sort of a game. It's sort of a challenge to figure out what really was happening here based on the bullshit story that she's telling us. Like, what really happened here was this. It's like the ending of Clue. You know, it could have happened this way, or it could have happened this way, but this is how it really happened. I walked into Link's arms and kissed him. Yes, because this is exactly the time where we should be. Then his expression changed into a serious one.
Should have been serious to start with.
Yeah. Now we must get out of here and find the rest of our weapons before Dark Link returns. Nodding, I grabbed my Phoenix Circles, because you wouldn't want to give that to the more experienced warrior.
No, we have to take all the glory for ourselves.
Like, even if she has Phoenix Circles, so she could at least give him one so he can defend himself.
Yeah.
And followed Link as we slowly made our way to the door. If you've got the weapon, why aren't you in front? Like, seriously. Why is she not in front if she's going to take all the weapons for herself anyway?
Because I'm a woman. My husband has to protect me, even though I'm the one with the weapons and the one who can apparently fight dudes.
Yeah.
Until we recover our weapons.
Great attitude here. Your husband is the meat shield. How touching. Of course,
he's not good for anything else except fucking.
Yeah, I mean, this shouldn't surprise anybody that's listened up to this point. He's basically a walking penis that occasionally contributes to the story, much like Harry Potter in any other story. God. Inching his way out the door, Link checked to see if anyone was coming. Coast is clear, let's go. Need an apostrophe there. Link whispered. Oh, coast is clear, let's go.
And I still say, why is it Link who is I know, I'm putting logic in a stupid story. Anyway.
Slinking our way down the dark corridors.
Slinking,
yes. The echo of Dark Link's taunting voice lingered in the air. It did? Where? Like, where did you hear it from?
And apparently he spoke, but he's not anymore.
Is she trying to say that she could hear him somewhere? It would be nice if we had some idea of where. I keep losing where we are because this story is so awful. We must hurry. This way. Link pointed towards a hallway with the light shining at the end, because that's not at all an obvious trap.
Winding rung through the shadows, we came upon a lighted room. Quietly, Link opened the door, peeking. Why? Do something! You have the weapons! Do something!
How would they know that it's lit if the door was shut?
Derp. Maybe they're looking through... Maybe they're looking through the cracks, the door crack against the floor. I don't know. They're dumb.
It was at the end of the corridor. I mean, how could they see that it was lit if the door was shut? I mean, they could see it if it was a particularly short corridor, but...
X-ray vision?
It wouldn't be very easy to see at a distance.
Peeking inside, what we saw was a sight for sore eyes. There on a table sat our weapons, because they'd be that easy to find. Yeah, not like...
This is not an obvious trap, no.
Yeah, and totally not like Dark Link would be smart enough to keep these on his person. Oh my goddesses, ellipses. There they are, I said as I ran inside. So you just shoved Link out of the way. You just shoved him to the side.
God.
Good job.
Let me just point out that it's just absolutely disgusting how she has taken up archery, apparently, to make Zelda useless to the story. Because arrows were always Zelda's thing in Ocarina of Time. So, yeah, she has clearly decided at this point that she is going to replace Zelda, and that Zelda needs to be made irrelevant to the story. So, yes.
Link, the Master Sword, is here along with our bows. Reaching over, I grabbed my bow and quiver. I swung the bow over my back, then threw the quiver over my shoulder. Then I grabbed...
Why wouldn't you give him a weapon first? You've got your weapons.
Because I'm more important than him. We discussed this earlier. which is why I was more concerned about how badly my wrist hurt once I removed the rope than immediately going over and freeing Link after I myself was free. Then I grabbed the Master Sword, his bow, and quiver, and handed them over to Link. Link took the sword and buckled it over his back, then swung his bow and quiver over his shoulder.
Wait,
We already... Yes?
I thought that only the Hero of Time was able to wield the Master Sword.
Apparently she's able just to pick it up and give it to him.
Okay, fine.
I mean...
I don't care, whatever. For argument's sake, we'll just go with it.
Well, I was going to say, I know, like, only Link could pull it from the pedestal in the Temple of Time, I suppose. I don't know if anybody else would be okay with picking it up and maybe not really knowing how to use a sword, but, you know. But anyway, unfastening the sword, Link removed it from its sheath. He took the sword and swung it through the air. Why? Listening to the rushing sound it made as though it was cutting the air like a knife through butter. Stop using the wrong through.
Yes, we know you know how to use through and through properly.
I'm just glad to have my sword back. That's the only thing you're glad about. Not that your wife's safe. Not that you guys, you know, she managed to somehow magically gnaw her way through ropes and then get her weapons back because Dark Link apparently left them because he knows they're really stupid and will fall for this trap.
Yeah, if Jenna is the best that a group
it's a cat
has to offer.
playing with a mouse.
Yeah, ironic, really.
Link said as he swung it for one last time before sheathing it. For some reason, even though
some reason.
Well, seriously, we know Dark Link's around somewhere. Why would we do that? Why would we sheathe our sword? I'd keep that thing out. And then my wife should get her freaking bow or something.
Why are you swishing through the damn air?
Yeah, I know.
Just get your shit and leave.
Now let's get the hell out of here. Just then, the door swung open.
Going somewhere? Sorry.
It's okay.
There in the doorway stood Dark Link. I thought I told you to stay put. An evil sneer crossed Dark Link's face as he eyed us over.
Because a sneer can have evilness. It can be evil.
Oh, well.
I'm flashing back to Voltron where everything was evil. And I'm like, that's not how people actually would act, even if they were evil.
Yeah, you'd think that people who were labeled as evil would be labeled that by someone else, because obviously no one goes and does something thinking, I'm so evil. You know, even people that are doing something that is wrong typically think that they're doing something that is right.
Or don't give a shit.
Or don't give a shit.
Anyway.
I mean, that's usually the closest you can get, you know, complete lack of concern, doing something that they don't really care about the morality of, and others think, oh, that's evil. We don't usually go out and do something and think, I'm evil, and this is evil. You usually just do something for its own reasons, and other people label that as good or evil or whatever. Where was I? I don't take... Oh, yeah, well, I'll read that again. An evil sneer crossed Dark Link's face as he eyed us over? I don't know that expression very well. I don't take orders from the likes of you, Link sneered back. So I guess Link's sneer wasn't so evil. Maybe this was relevant to what we just said. You can sneer, but it's up to someone to label it as good or evil. You will be after I'm finished with you. Oh my god. Reading his voice in a sassy queen voice really makes it seem like every time he says something, he's referring to something very naughty.
You will be after I'm finished with you.
I think I love it. I think I'm channeling Paul Lind with some of these lines.
I was going for the scratch and sniff guy with
yes.
from X-Play.
Just then, Darkling drew a sword with a remarkably likeness to the Master Sword. Well, of course he would.
Well, it was remarkably just likeness the Master Sword, except it was evil.
And this is remarkably bullshitness.
Amazingliness. So.
At that point, with Darkling holding a sword just like the Master Sword, I begun to think that this is one battle Link would not win alone, and despite the fact that he had won it before.
Bullshit! Do you have any clue how many times Link has fought Dark Link? Dark Link isn't necessarily evil. He's just a shadow. He's just a shadow.
And it's just a complete misunderstanding of this whole fight yourself thing. You are supposed to be the toughest opponent that you will ever face because you're facing yourself. That is a tremendous part of any hero's journey. A hero must face and overcome himself, his own darkness, his own shortcomings and strengths, and that's something he has to do alone. No one can help him in that. That's not so. You either succeed or you fail.
Well, I mean, you can have support on your quest to overcome your shortcomings.
You can, but when you are
Yeah,
confronting an opposite manifestation of
Yes.
yourself,
Yes.
you really cannot have
No.
anybody involved in that because it is
Well, I was
you.
thinking more like emotional support, not really physical support. But
And I mean support on the quest to develop yourself to the point where you can confront your, dark side, your dark self. But I mean that particular fight has to be yours and yours alone because you've got to succeed or fail and learn from that so that maybe next time you can do better. Of course, nobody writing this actually thought that to that level.
Yeah, pretty much.
Where was I? No, not when alone. Drawling, drawling my phoenix circles. I made a daring charge at Dark Link. You asshole! You're a fucking prima donna! Also, if someone has drawn their sword and is squaring off against someone else, you don't just draw your weapons and rush at them. That is one of the dumbest things you can do in any fight, especially if everyone is armed.
Also, you don't have a sword. You have circle blades. You have what you essentially have described as a charm. Which, granted, I don't know because I've never seen them used or how a person fights with them. But I'm gonna imagine there would be really difficult to fight with, if you went against some guy with a straight sword.
Yes, because when you have properly called chakram, not the chakams as she has called them.
I think I flip flop back and forth between calling them correctly and wrong.
Oh no! I mean chakams earlier, and you're just repeating that. Remember we talked about this briefly.
Did we?
Yeah, she got it wrong, and I mentioned that they were chakrams with Xena, but you pronounced it perfectly correctly as chakams because that is how she that's how she had typed it. That's how she spelled it.
Chakram. I'll try to remember. I will probably.
No, it's okay because that's exactly what she called it, and you pronounced it exactly as it was written. So, but like when you're using them as hand weapons, you don't really want to be fighting someone with a lengthy weapon. And a sword is, I mean, a short sword at the least is going to be keeping you arm's length from them. But, I mean, even in Xena Warrior Princess, she oftentimes tended to use her chakram as like a remote attack. Like fling it and it would bounce off things and come back to her. But obviously, Jenna's not going to do that, but it's really not something that's suited for a fight with someone who has like a sword unless you are just like amazing at using a chakram. It's way too short to be practical in a fight like that.
Okay.
But yes, you were right. Feeling like, oh god.
I'm starting to wonder if maybe this is the point where she really got into Xena.
I don't know. Did she get into Xena? I was not aware of this fact.
Well, I was just... Unless I'm saying it wrong again. I don't care at this point if I am or not. I feel stupid now because now I'm pretty sure I said it wrong.
I don't think so. I mean, you said it. You said Chakams because that was what.
No, I'm talking about Princess Warrior Xena.
Oh yeah, Xena Warrior Princess. Yeah.
So I'm like, so is she trying to? I mean, granted, I didn't watch the show, so I don't really know, but I'm wondering if she's these cat-like stuff is because she saw maybe Xena like jumping around and doing these ridiculous tricks and things. I mean, I don't know.
Maybe.
I didn't watch the show, so I can't really say what Xena did in combat or did not do in combat.
Well, that is actually pretty likely because the fight choreography on Xena was usually very exciting and kind of exaggerated, and but it didn't have a specific cat correspondence. But
Well,
of course, that's probably just Jenna's own interests bleeding through. But yeah, I wouldn't put it past her to have suddenly come up with chakrams from watching Xena and getting into Xena and all this stuff. I'm surprised we haven't had a lesbian scene then.
Lesbian scene in Xena?
There were lots of lesbian scenes in Xena, darling.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. I was just like, I didn't know that.
Yeah, by the end of it, I think only lesbians were really still watching, and that and the people that had been like, well, I watched it this long, I might as well finish it, like my friend Ricardo.
Feeling my non-existent cat instincts, meow.
Feeling my cat-like instincts kick in, I decided to take a poop, and then I tried to bury it for about 30 minutes before I determined there was stone on the ground rather than sand, and so I just gave up and kicked it to the corner of the room. Anyway, sorry. I jumped gracefully into the air.
We're doing my immortal stuff, where we jump sexily into objects.
Sexoy.
Sexoy.
Ebony,
where'd you get your hair?
I never thought I'd say this either, but I actually like Inobi better than I do Jenna. Inobi was horrible.
Inobi,
she was
did
insufferable.
You hear about that bitch, Jenna? What a bitch.
Oh, God.
I heard she was going out with that prep link. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I heard that they, made Ruto babysit their kid right after the kid was born. And, all of the fairies did, they were just, having lesbian sex and getting drunk and smoking all the time.
Well, Jenna is just that kind of slut. All she cares about is all the dick she gets. My Valley Girl during this entire story just fails. I just cannot get into my Valley Girl.
Well, this story is very damaging in so many ways to so many aspects of our psyche, so we're going to have to nurture our inner Valley Girl with another story. We'll have to read something insipid like Twilight.
Okay.
Hopefully not something like Sexy Santa that makes you lingerie again, but that was also really funny, so... I jumped gracefully into the air, aiming my weapons directly at his face. Just before I managed to strike, Darklink raised his sword, unsurprisingly, and blocked my weapon, causing a clank of metal and sparks to fill into the air that doesn't generally happen, and to fill into the air.
Yes, they filled the air full of sparks.
Wow, it's amazing you're still alive. Also, are we actually underwater? What's happening? We don't know. Is he still wearing those iron boots? I mean, if Link is still wearing his iron boots, then he's not going to be able to fight very skillfully, I have to say. Falling back, I swiftly rushed forward and high-kicked Darklink in the face.
Alright, chums up. Ready, guys? Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins!
Oh my God, he just ran in.
He had his sword up. How could you kick him in the face? Why would you even dare to kick someone who has a long blade that can cut your fucking foot off?
Because I'm stupid and I want to look cool, even though this is impossible.
Why Why wouldn't Link just be like, Jenna, don't? You know, why is it that she just gets to charge headlong like Leroy Jenkins into battle? The thing she does is a Leroy Jenkins. She's just, she's horrible.
And then, oh my god, he just ran in there. And then gets everybody killed. Just sweeps everybody with death.
Yeah, you know, Jenna is that kind of asshole. Jenna is that kind of asshole. Causing him to go flying back into a wall, kicks don't do that. Staggering back up, his face twisted into an evil grin. Why? So, you want to play rough, do you? He said, wiping the blood from his mouth. I can show you just how rough I can play.
Ooh, I'm so scared.
You know, it really does make it a completely different story to read like that.
I'm gonna grab these next two paragraphs since that
It's
this one's so short.
yeah.
A flash of white light surrounded the room, causing Link and I to be blinded. I felt myself being lifted into the air, as if someone was carrying me. I heard Dark Link's sinister laugh ring through my ears. Then all went black. You guys fail, okay? You just fail. Dark Link, just kill them. Just kill them. Like, kill them in your sexy stripper outfit of lingerie. Just kill them. Because letting them live hurts them. It would be so kind just to put them out of their misery.
Put them out of our misery.
And maybe the kid will go to a good home and grow up as a proper Hyrulean.
That, or maybe he'll be raised by the fairies in the village of the Kokiri village and, you know, just live his life there and who knows. Whatever he does, it's bound to be better than the life he would have had with Jenna and Link.
With unblinking eyes, I stared into the blackness of the room I was in. Cold water shifted around my ankles as I walked around. Well, where did Dark Link go? And why did he
everywhere
in there? Well, apparently it's been there for a while because
Yes.
now it's cold.
That's what I was. That's what I was implying. Like
He stuffed her in the toilet.
that would be so richly fulfilling.
Yes, it would.
We call this an oubliette, but I believe you call it a toilet.
Or, as that one Sonic fanfic called it, a magic wishing well.
What?
Yeah, it was a magic well. It was one of the Casper A. Vistagard Sonic the Hedgehog fanfics.
It was a magic wishing well that was a toilet?
Yeah, the Sonic was fighting Robotnik, and he apparently had a giant Chow army coming to help him. And apparently one of the Chow got injured, so Sonic immediately stops fighting and takes the Chow to a doctor. The doctor tells Sonic that the Chow needs to be put in a magic well, and that will make him better. So Sonic goes and does exactly what the doctor tells him to do, and puts him in the magic well. And then the doctor laughs at Sonic and tells him that's not a magic well, that's really a toilet.
What?
And it's okay, your Chow doesn't have AIDS, your Chow has cancer spelled with an S, and it'll just get better.
That's horrible.
It is. And then Sonic just goes back to fighting Dr. Eggman. I think he does. I don't really know.
That's about par for the course for Casper Vistagard.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, I recommend you watch that video. That's just me reading, like, his 3 Sonic fanfics. And going, like, what in the world am I reading?
Yeah, I do need to listen to that. I do need to watch that video.
Anyway, where was I?
In hell.
Well, I know I'm in hell. The question is, where in hell? Pushing my way through the darkness, I listened for any sounds that might be my love Link. Link! Ellipses. Link, where are you, my love? Link, are you there? I cried out into the darkness, but all there was silence. Continuing to move forward, I finally found myself standing in front of a strange tree. Looking up at it, It looked twisted and ugly, as if it was a tortured soul.
Wait, how is she
Because you're
suddenly...
so deep.
And how is she suddenly seeing this if she says it's the room is black? There's only darkness. She's listening for sounds that might be Link, and of course she can't do anything if Link isn't there.
Yeah, like what happened to
to
her weapons and shit? Didn't she get those back?
She's got to look good for someone. She can't do anything on her own without an audience. But how is she fucking seeing a tree in total blackness?
Her cat eyes.
Cat can't see in total blackness.
Exactly. And the author does not know this or care. That's my best guess.
You're probably right.
Also, the tree was twisted and ugly as if it was a tortured soul. You are so deep. There is so much meaning and symbolism there. Almost like you thought it meant something. Like that was poetic. Well, thank you for saying it in a very impolite manner. That's what I was trying to go for, but okay.
I'm so sorry.
It's alright. It's alright. That was an appropriate response, I believe. Its twisted branches stretched out like clawed fingers, as if it was trying to grab something. Oh, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
I think it was trying to twist at least 4 of those fingers inward towards the palm so that one of them could be presented to Jenna.
Backing up, the cold water brushed up against my legs, causing a cold chill to run up my back. Or shouldn't it be like through your leg and then up your spine? Whatever.
I don't know. It might as well have shot up her ass for all we care. Just then, a chilling laugh pierced the darkness. Looking back towards the tree... Wait, who's looking back towards the tree? This is a vague modifying. The tree, a black figure slinked out from behind it. Who's looking at the tree?
Us.
It's... Oh, wrong it's. It is chilling blood-red eyes, sending a chill deep into my soul.
You're already chilled. How much more chilled can you get?
Yeah, especially in your non-existent soul. Dark Link. Where the hell am I?
Dramatic chipmunk! Dark Link! Dun dun dun!
Where the hell am I and where's Link?
Because
I
that's
sneered.
the most important thing.
Why is everybody sneering?
Because she's a certain word I'm not going to say.
I sneered, raising my phoenix circles up and tapping his fingers a sudden... What is with this starting with an ing verb? That's not it's not a grammatically proper sentence anyway. Snapping his fingers, a sudden light filled the room, lighting up the surroundings as if it would do anything else. A sudden shock ran through me. Yes, T-H-R-E-W instead of T-H-R-O-U-G-H. Yet again!
Woo!
Oh, my goddesses. Is this the strange room Link described when he first met his counterpart?
Why would you be saying this aloud?
And
when did Link tell you this?
I don't know. Then something caught my eye.
I think something's in Hushitro's eyes.
God, looking over my shoulder. Why do you keep starting with ing verbs and making them vague phrases? Who is looking over your shoulder? Looking over my shoulder, there bound to the wall, over the way out, was Link. Why? Why would Dark Link want to fight her instead of Link? If it were that easy for him to stop Link, why didn't he just do that? Oh my god, it's it! Link! I cried, clopping my hands over my mouth. What the hell have you done to him, you bastard? I told you earlier, if you want to play rough, I will show you just how rough I can play. An evil glint rose in Dark Link's eyes. The flame of hatred...
Stop saying evil!
The flame of hatred flicking in them.
They're certainly flicking in mine.
like to flick... Never mind.
Oh, you
If
want
you're
to
my
flip some
favorite-
birds? I can flip them too.
The tree certainly can.
He can
If
probably flip multiple birds.
If you're my favorite love, then you must defeat me. Eyeing him, I poised into a fighting stance, placing my phoenix circles up in front of me. I knew I was in for a long battle.
Because only you can fight Darkling. Only you.
That doesn't make any fucking sense. Why would you fight someone else's dark counterpart? Why wouldn't you have your own? It doesn't even make any sense for her to be fighting his counterpart. That wasn't even what it was all about. The whole confrontation was about him reaching a new level of ability, a new level of enlightenment, by facing his dark side. It doesn't mean anything if she faces his dark side. I mean, in some ways it could be a message that, you know, she really is, that like this whole thing is just really just so useless, and all he is just a decoration for her, an accessory of some kind. So she handles everything because it, you know, it makes her seem more impressive in her own mind. But really all it says is that Link is without the ability to even face his dark side, and without the ability to be a hero. So that's pretty sad.
Yeah.
Jenna has completely, summarily, usurped his entire role as a hero, with absolutely no justification.
Her justification is that she's a Mary Sue, because that's what Mary Sues do.
Yeah, she really is. This is, you know, of all the Mary Sues that we've read, Jenna may be, I don't know if she's the worst, but she's certainly one of the worst, because everything around her, unless it pertains to her, is treated as if it's superfluous. It's completely irrelevant. You know, she'll tell us that things happen, but unless and until they actually have something to do with her or glorify her in some manner, she never dwells on them. Even if it might make the story better or might make us actually like her better, or at least sympathize with her in some way, she just tells us about it. She describes that it happened at some point. She's such an awful character.